Jesus told this story. There was once a man who had 2 sons, and the younger of the sons came to his father and said, "Father, give me my share of my inheritance." And so the father divided all his property and his wealth, and he gave half of it to his younger son. Well, the younger son, he gathered all the money together, sold the property that he had, and he went off to a distant land. He got as far away as he possibly could. And there, when he was in that distant land, he started to spend his money. He started to eat lots of food and have lots to drink, and he invited lots of friends round for parties, and they were dancing to the night. Oh, he just wasted all the money. And then, in that land, there was a famine. The food began to run out and people began to become hungry. And so he couldn't get quite so much food, so the parties weren't quite as big. And some of the friends started to disappear, and then he found that his money was disappearing too. And the more his money disappeared, the more his friends disappeared. And it wasn't long before, well, he had nothing left. He had no money and no friends, and he started to feel hungry. So he had to go to work. There was a man there who offered him some work, but the only work that could be found was feeding the pigs. And he hated feeding the pigs. He had to take the pig slop out and hand it over to the pigs, and they would pig away into the food. All the mouldy old cabbage and custard and bits of half-eaten sausages and just blah. And the pigs would, it made him feel quite sick just to watch it. The trouble was, as he got more and more hungry, some days he would go to work and he'd look at the food he was pouring out for the pigs, and he'd think, if I could just get a bit of rotten old pastry covered in slimy gravy, and then he realised what he was doing. He thought, this is ridiculous. Back at home, my father's servants, they eat better than this. They get well fed and have food to spare. And yet here I am, starving to death. And then he made up his mind. He said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my father, and I'm going to say sorry to him. I'm going to fall down at his knees and say, Father, I have sinned against you and against God, and I'm really sorry. Just take me back in and treat me like one of your servants. So, from that moment on, he left. He set off back to where his father lived. It was a long journey, and as he journeyed along, he started to get more and more worried about what he was going to have to say and how his father might react. Well, at the house where his father lived, his father was looking out, as he did every day, to see if he could see where his son might be, wondering how he was. And then one day, he saw a figure walking towards the house. He couldn't believe it. It was his youngest son coming back, and he ran out as fast as he could to meet him. Well, the son was walking towards the house, and he was still worrying about what he was going to say when he saw his father running towards him. He couldn't believe it. He thought he was going to be chased off the property, but just as he started to fall to his knees, his father grabbed hold of him and held him tight. And he started to say, Father, I'm sorry, I've sinned against you and against God. Please take me back in as one of your servants. But the father hugged him even tighter. And by now, some of the servants from the house had caught up with them, wondered what was going on. And he said, it's my son, it's my son. I thought he was dead, but no, look, he's alive. I'd lost him, but now he's come back. Quick, bring a robe for him, the best robe you can find. Find some rings to put on his fingers and some shoes to put on his feet. Oh, this is amazing. And let's throw a massive party. Get the best food we can find. Get the largest cow you can get, and let's have a big roast. And so they did. They got the food prepared, and the boy got washed and clothed, and so the party began, and there was singing and there was dancing. Well, while this was going on, the younger son's older brother was out working in the fields, and he heard the noise from the house. Sounds like a party. Carried on working, but the noise continued. And he called one of his servants and said, "What's going on in the house? I can hear a noise. It sounds like a party." Well, his servant said to him, "Well, it is a party. It's your younger brother. He's come home. Your father's thrown a party for him. He's got the best meats and the best food available. Come and join the celebrations." But the older brother would not. He stayed out working in the field. Well, when the father heard that he wasn't coming in, he went out to speak to him. He said to him, come and join the party. Your younger brother we thought was dead is alive. I thought I'd lost him, but no, we found him. Come and join the party." But the older brother said, No, I'm not coming into your party. I have been working for you all these years while he's cleared off, wasted your money, embarrassed you, made a fool of himself, and I've stayed here working. And then the father said to the older boy, he said, "You know that I love you. You will always be with me. I will always be grateful for who you are. We will never be separated. But your brother, we thought he was dead, but he's alive. I had lost him, and now he is found. So come and celebrate with me."